the show where John Romano and I vent our frustrations with the world. Lee Priest is in the gym training today, so it's going to be just you and me, John. This is the last Iron Rage before I get my shoulder replaced on Monday, so I had to make it a good topic. I don't know if you've been watching the bodybuilding news, but there's a guy by the name of Dan the Bodybuilder who is one of these guys. He went out to Thailand, to save money on gear and be able to use legal gear and buy it cheap. And he took a shot in his quad, something that we've talked about never doing. And he's got a massive infection, and his leg is necrotic. And who knows? They want to chop his leg off. I feel bad for the guy. He's very obviously very, very sick. When you get a staph infection, and especially if it's resistant to antibiotics, you could die from that. And I don't know what the latest update is from him, but I thought it was necessary for you and I to kind of once again tell people. Number one, you get what you pay for. Number two, don't go to third world countries and inject stuff that you don't know what you're injecting into your bodies. John, are these people that stupid?
Yes. Of course. Wait. I want to understand this thing a little bit better. So he goes to Thailand for how long?
I think he was living there. I think he's living there to live the bodybuilding dream.
He moves to Thailand because the gear is going to be cheap?
It's more accessible, I guess. It's like when you went to Mexico, I guess. But Mexico's a lot closer than Thailand. Maybe Mexico's not cheap enough for him. I don't know.
Well, Mexico has a shitty drug availability pharmaceutically anyway. But there's Panama, Nicaragua. There's plenty of countries that are a lot closer than freaking Thailand.
Well, maybe there's other fringe benefits he's looking for in Thailand. Gary Stridham always loved Thailand. But. I don't know if I would inject homemade drugs from there, that's for sure.
That's where all the lady boys live.
Yeah, exactly. I think the really true story that will define how crazy people are to go to other countries to save money was the Dan Duchesne story, where did he take his girlfriend to Mexico to get calf implants? Tell that story.
Yeah, she went to get, she was a bodybuilder, she went to get calf implants. They went to Mexico. And
which was because what? It was cheaper there, right?
Right, it was cheaper. So and the cheaper and that's doctors willing to do that. That's not a very common surgery. So they took the tram from San Diego to Tijuana, and they're getting it done in Tijuana. If you're going to get surgery in Mexico, you don't go to the Dust Bowl of
right.
You go to Guadalajara, Mexico City. You
right.
go to a reputable, hospital, and then you can get it. But yeah, they went to some freaking doctor, and she's got an infection within the first few hours, actually.
Wow.
And I think the next night they were in emergency. They were in a taxi cab, driving to San Diego. Got to the hospital. She actually had to have both legs amputated.
Oh, what a nightmare! What a nightmare!
Both freaking legs.
I heard Greg Valentino was actually the surgeon down there. Is that true? That was his prior career.
Yeah, he injects motor oil.
Yeah, but the problem is, John, that people try to save money. And, even with gynecomastia surgery, I always tell people, guys, Dr. Blau is the best. He's done the most surgeries. Go to him, spend an extra $1,000. Who cares? It's cosmetic. You're going to see it the rest of your life. Do you really want to take a chance that the doctor you're using might be good enough? You can't skimp when you're doing stuff like cosmetic type stuff where you could actually, there could be negative ramifications of what you do. Look, steroids cost more when you buy them from a reputable source. There's a reason why you're paying more, because you're paying for the knowledge that what you're using is real and is sterile. That's why I send people to Titan Medical. Yeah, you're going to pay more from them, but it's being sent to you from an American compounding pharmacy. Okay? So guess what? It's sterile. What they say is in there is in there. Yeah, it costs a little more, but after all, when you try to take the short, easy way out, as my dad always said to me my whole life, you take the easy way out, you always pay the price. And he was right. Every time I try to take a shortcut, I always got slammed in the head for it. And it always cost me more, whether it cost me more time-wise or money-wise or both. That, unfortunately, when you talk about anabolic steroids, you could talk about it could cost you your life. This guy, Dan the bodybuilder, is lucky to be alive with what happened to him. It's just horrifying, John. And I hear about it over and over and over. No, it's like people don't learn.
It's odd that they would take, and it's not just the steroids. I mean, there's right here in America, you got, guys or girls going to hotel rooms, getting their butts injected with, stuff to make their butts bigger.
Fillers and stuff like that.
God knows what. I mean, some of them have been, so unscrupulous. They were using all kinds of things like glue and silicone and industrial grade shit, And these people are getting infections, necrosis. They're getting pieces of their bodies, cut out. I mean, this one girl went to get her ass done, and she's got like her glutes are gone. They had to cut them all off.
I know these women that get their, same thing with the face injections. You gotta be completely, if you're that vain that you're gonna get injections into your face, fillers, you must be out of your fucking mind if you're going to go to a third world country and have someone in a back room inject you with some kind of generic form of whatever you think you're getting because you don't want to spend the real money to go to a board-certified plastic surgeon in the United States and get it done. Because you know what? I'm not putting anything in my face unless I know that it's good. Because guess what? You only got one face. And, these horror stories, I feel bad for the people, John, but at the same time, I'm almost like you deserve it for being this stupid.
You do. I firmly believe in Darwinism. I mean, if you move to Thailand because the steroids are cheap, that just doesn't make any sense. You deserve an infection.
Right.
I mean, how much cheaper? How much cheaper, and then offset that by the cost of moving to Thailand, all the way outside of the world.
Or how about this, John? If you're going to go to Thailand, at least buy pharmaceutical stuff in the Thailand pharmacies because you don't need a prescription. Exactly. At least if it's real pharmaceuticals, you're not going to get an infection from that.
Well, you got to determine that they're real pharmaceuticals, but a lot of unscrupulous sales tactics in pharmacies in third world countries, If you can, we're talking about countries like Mexico in the border zone in Tijuana, where you're not really technically in Mexico, but you're in the border zone.
Right.
They sell veterinary steroids in the human pharmacies.
Oh, they do? Wow.
Well,
you told me that the Mexican steroids are terrible.
They're shit.
And there's more fakes in Mexico, which you wouldn't think because it's legal there. But there's more fakes in Mexico than any place else, right?
Yes, because the legitimate pharmaceuticals have dried up. You can only get Sustanon preloads, Deca preloads, Andriol, and Proviron at the pharmacy. That's it. So what are you going to do? There's nothing in multi-use vials. Everything's 250 milligram at the most.
Right.
And it's expensive. You get a twin pack of Deca preloads, 50 milligrams each, is $40.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's expensive.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
So the underground market is going to take over, and of course, if you're underground, you're going to be unscrupulous. If you're going to spend $700 for a kilo of cypionate powder versus $13,000 for a kilo of primobolan powder,
right?
You prepare them both. You put them in a bottle with no label. They're identical.
Yeah.
So if you're a Mexican, you're going to make. Well, I'm going to make 25 milligram, sip, and I'm going to stick a Primobolan label on it. No one will know.
Right.
Until a girl uses it to
get
ready for the show. And then,
but at least and that's assuming that it's sterile, that it's sterilely made. That's the problem, the sterility issue. You're injecting something. Look, if you inject a foreign bacteria into your body, I mean, it's like you're injecting death into yourself, and now you have to hope you catch it in time with enough antibiotics and a skilled surgeon to cut out the infection so that you don't die. I mean, that's what you're really doing. I mean, you're injecting. You might as well inject, poison into yourself. Hemlock,
That's what Botox is. Botox is botulism.
Yeah, right. I mean, if it's not diluted properly, sure, you can kill yourself for that also.
Sure. Or you could do it the wrong way and your whole face is numb and never moves again.
Yeah.
Some women might like that, but I think that dead face is not very appealing. But these women are injecting botulism poison into their foreheads. every few weeks. So they don't have any, lines up here.
But think about it. Let's say some unscrupulous guy says, you know what, I'm going to make my own Botox because you know what, these girls are paying a fortune for it. And so they buy botulism toxin and then they got to dilute it themselves. But they're not chemists, so they don't understand mathematics or how to dilute it properly. And instead of diluting it 1,000 times down, they only dilute it 100 times down. So it's a magnitude of 10 off. Now this woman gets an injection in her forehead of botulism toxin that should be 10, times 10 to the 10th degree less, and like you said, their whole face goes paralyzed, or worse, they die.
Or worse.
All to save a couple $100 because they don't want to go to their plastic surgeon who has the real stuff. Very stupid.
That's my whole point. What is the disparity in price between getting it done right and getting it done wrong? And then what's it cost to fix it if you can?
If you can fix it, yeah.
And a lot of times you can't. You're better off paying more out of the gate because it's a done deal. You're finished.
It was like back in the day, when you buy, when you would buy steroids from a dealer. Okay, let's just say this was back when they had real steroids. Okay, on the market in the 90s. Can you pay too much for the fact that you don't actually have to take the risk of going to smuggle the stuff in, bring it in, and not get caught with it? You're paying for the convenience of having it delivered to you, essentially. So the same thing when you go to a pharmacy, except when you go to a plastic surgeon to get some kind of facial fillers or something like that, you're paying so that you don't have to worry about anything. That's why you're paying the higher price. Yes, we know that the Botox doesn't cost that much to make, just like we know the GH doesn't cost that much to make. But you're paying for the fact that you know it's real, it's in a sterile vial, and nothing bad is going to happen to you. So that is priceless. There's nothing you can't put a price on your health and your well-being. If you're not willing to do that and spend a little more money, then guess what? You're in the wrong business. You shouldn't be doing anything, okay? Stay home. Because you know what, at the end of the day, if half your face falls off or they have to chop your leg off because you're making stupid decisions, you will regret it the rest of your life, I promise you.
And you'll deserve it.
Yeah, and no one will feel bad for you. Because you're making stupid decisions. And there's people like John and I out here warning you, don't do it. And I guarantee you there will be someone who watches this show who tomorrow will go do exactly what we told them not to do, thinking, it's not going to happen to me. And it will happen to them. And I'll get an email from them telling me, I don't know why I didn't listen to you. I just heard your show. It was like a message from God, and I ignored you, and I did it, and now I need to get my leg amputated. And I'll be interviewing them because they're going to be in the wheelchair games. Is that what you guys want? You want to be in the wheelchair division because you're a moron? That division is for people who have unfortunate things happen to them, not for morons who do it to themselves. That's the bottom line. That's the take-home message. And if this is too harsh for you, then you're in the wrong sport. Because this is the harsh reality of it. John and I don't sugarcoat anything. Never have, never will. And the reason why we're being so harsh here is because it's the truth. Don't take the easy way out. I'm Dave Palumbo with John Romano for another installment of Iron Rage.
Right on.